In this video you will learn how to add Google login functionality to your login page. So stay with me. Hey, what's up guys? Sinead here from codingpassiveincome.com, the place where I help others to become a web developer much easier and faster than they would do it on their own. So if that is something that interests you, consider subscribing. So before we even start writing any code, I want to show you and explain the basics that you need to understand for this tutorial. So let's say at the moment you have one login page like this, and there's some email, some password and some login button, and also you have some index.php file, and you want that this file is only accessible for the people who are logged in. So now at the moment people can log into this page only if they have valid account data, but we also want to enable those people to sign in with the Google account. So what we are going to do, we will just add one button here, login with Google, and once someone press this button, we will redirect the person to the Google. So let's say this is Google, and now on the Google they will have to accept the permissions that we are asking for, and once they accept, Google will redirect them to the one page that we are going to call Google Callback page. And now the key things will happen inside this page. We are going to check all the details from the Google, and if the user has given all the permissions and all the data that we are looking for, we will redirect him to the index.php, and if he is not, we will just redirect back to the login page. So now, as you can see, you will have two options to login: directly from the login page with the data from the database, and also from the Google. So this may seem a little bit complicated, but actually the code is very simple. So let me show you how to do it. So now I'm here at my PHP store. I've created a new project and also 5 empty files that you are going to need for this tutorial. So first thing that I'm going to do is to design the basic login page. So I will just quickly do like this. I'm going to change the title to the login with Google, and now I'm going to use a Bootstrap. So I'm going to download Bootstrap library from the getbootstrap.com. I will just use CDN version. I will just copy, and I'm going to paste just before closing head tag. So now inside body I'm going to have one container, and for this container I will set margin top to the 100 pixels. Inside the container I'm going to have one row, and in that row I'm going to justify content to the center, and inside the row I'm just going to have one column with MD6, and I will set offset to 3, and also I'm going to align everything to the center. So now inside this column I will just include my logo PNG file, make 2 breaks, and I'm going to create one simple form. So here I'm not going to specify anything because we are not going to create that, so I will just create inputs. Let's say I will have one with placeholder email. I will set name to the email, and I'm going to say that the class will be form control. Okay, and I will duplicate this. I will change to the password, change placeholder to the password, and let's say this should be placeholder, and I'm going to specify the type as password, and that's it. After that I'm going to add one button. So I'll say input type submit. I'll say value log in, and let's set some class, for example, to the button, and button primary. And of course I'm going to have another button. I will set button danger, and here I will say login with Google. And maybe I should change the type to the button. So let's now see this design, and here we go. So it's very simple and nice design, and as you can see, this button doesn't work at the moment. So in order to make a login with Google, the first thing that we need to do is to download Google API library. So here is the link, and also for those of you that are watching this on YouTube or my website, you can find the link in the description below. I mean all the links from this tutorial. So I'll just click here on the latest one, and we'll just save to the project folder. So once it's downloaded, I will extract everything, delete the archive, and also going to rename this to the Google API, just so it's much easier for me to use it. And now we first need to create our config file for our client. So I'll say here first we need to start a session, and after that I'm going to require from the Google API, you need to go to the vendor and then call autoload.php. So I'll say vendor autoload.php, and now I will just create one variable. Let's say Google Client equal new Google Client, and now for this client we need to specify client ID, and we need to specify client secret. Okay, and now as you can see, we do not have those two, and in order to get those we need to create a new on the Google. So I'm going here to the console.developers.google.com/apis/library, and after that I'm going here to create a new project. So I'll hit plus. So let's say this will be CPI login. I will hit create, and after that I'm going to hit, first we need to wait here. As you can see, now it is created, and now I will go to the Google Plus API, and I'm going to hit enable. Okay, and after that I will go to the credentials, hit create credentials, and after that I go to the Logout client ID. So now we need first to configure. I will say here CPI login, and all other things are just optionals like logo, homepage URL, etc, etc. I will just leave it as an empty, but you can modify it. I will choose application type as web application, and here for the name I will say CPI login. And for the authorized redirect URLs, I will say here it will be just my localhost Google login folder, and maybe I will just set and also the name of the file that we are going to use for this tutorial, but it's an option. Okay, and I will hit create, and that's it. Now we have our client ID and client secret, and we need to copy those to our code. Okay, and here's the secret. and that's it. After that, once we have all those things, I'm just going to set application name. So I'll say CPI login tutorial, and I'm going to set redirect. So my redirect once again is localhost Google login and callback.php. And the last thing to set up this Google client is to add the scopes, which means the permissions that we will ask a person to accept in order to get all the information that we need from that profile. So I'll say here gclient, add scope, and now I'm going to show you where you can find those scopes. So here's the link, and once you open it, you can read here about authorization scopes and learn more about it, but the ones that we are looking for are plus.login, and down here we also have userinfo.email. So I'll say here this, and then I will hit space and we'll just edit this to the userinfo.email, and that's it. Now once we have set up our Google client, we need to go again to the login page, and now I'm going at the top to get the authorization URL from the Google. So I'll say here require once config.php, and we'll say here login URL equal gclient create authorization URL. Okay, and now I'm going to set onClick method to our login with Google button. So I'll say use JavaScript here and just say window.location equal, and from the PHP I will just echo the login URL. Okay, and now let's make a test. So I'll just refresh, I will hit login with Google, and as you can see here, now it is asking me to choose an account because I have multiple, so I'll choose this one. And after that it asks me for the permissions that we have been asking for, so I'll just say allow, and now I have been redirected to the Google callback.php, and as you can see here there is some code and there is authentication, user, session, etc, etc. So now we need to create this Google callback.php file and get this code. So now I'll just go here, I will say again we will need config.php, and here I will say if isn't get code, I will create a new token and say token equal gclient fetch access token with authorization code, and authorization code is the code that you have seen in the URL. And after that I'm going to store this newly created token to the session, so I'll just say access token and the value will be our token, and that's it. And down below we know that the person has been authorization, and now we need to just get the data from this person. So I can say I will create a new variable and say gclient, new Google service OAuth2, and we need to specify the Google client, so I'll just pass it. And now here as a user data I will say OAuth userinfo way2.me, and I will say get. And after that, let's just print to the screen so I can see what we have. So since this is going to be an array, I will just use var_dom, my preferred function, and let's try to refresh. And here we go. And now, as you can see, I have associative array and I have multiple keys, and some of them are email, which is my email, family name, gender, given name, ID, Google Plus link, name, picture, all those cool things. So let's use those information and store them to the session, or maybe even if you need it inside your database, you can save it too, or you can do whatever you want, but in this tutorial we'll just save to the session. So let's say like this will be user data, email, so I will duplicate this. So there is a gender, okay, there is a picture, and then there is family name, and there is, I don't remember, let's say there is given name, okay, say given name, and that's it. So now once we have all those data, we should redirect the person to our index.php file. So I will just say location index.php, and I just love to say that each time after the header function I will say exit, even if there isn't any other code, but this is just my practice. The cool thing will be if someone opened this page and there is already a session, we should just get it. So I'll say here if isSet session access token, we can say that Google Client will set access token from session. So I will just say like this, and maybe I should move this up here, and here I will say if there isn't access token, we will just get it from the code. And maybe if there isn't session access token, if there isn't get code, we will just say else, and I'm going just to move a person to the login.php. So this is just one way of implementation of this, and this should work just fine. Let's make a test. So refresh, and as you can see I have been redirected to the index.php, but this is an empty because we don't have any code. So I'll go to the index.php, and let's say I will just copy this, okay, we will modify this part here, but here we will delete it, and that's it. So let's say I will have one column with 3, and I will have another column with 9, okay. Inside this first we will have one image, okay, which is a picture of the person, and inside here we are going to have one table. So I will say class will be table, table hover, and table bordered, and I will have one table body. So what I'm going to create inside the table, so let's say we will have 2 columns. In each row, first column will be, let's say, our key, and the second one will be the value. So I will just, we can use PHP, but it's not necessary. So let's say like this, and here for example I will say ID. I'm not even sure did we save it. No, we didn't. So let's say I'm not going to show my ID, or we can even do it, it is just not that much important. Let's say we'll save it. Okay, ID, and I'm just going to duplicate those. Okay, so email, gender, and 2 more. I'm just going to delete those. To move here, I'll say PHP. Okay, echo session. Okay. So I'm going to have ID, first name, last name, email, and gender. So here I will say this is our given name, this is ID, this is family name, email, and finally gender. Okay, so I'll just quickly copy this, and here I will say session picture. I'm not even sure did we save it. Yes, we did. Okay, and at the top all we need to do is to start a session and check if not is set session access token. It means that the person is not authorized, and we will just redirect him to the login.php. Okay, and maybe we can copy this to the login.php, because if the person is authorized we need to redirect him to the index.php. Okay, cool. And the last thing is of course logout. Logout should be pretty simple. So I'll say here require once config, and I will say here unset session access token. Okay, I'm going to use G client to revoke token. I will destroy all others, and I'm going just to redirect to the login.php. Okay, let's make a test. So now if we first open logout, all session will be deleted and we will be redirected to the login.php. And now let's try to login. I've been redirected here, and as you can see here there is my picture and there are some ID, first name, last name, email, gender, etc. So it is not the best design, but it is something that does work. So maybe I will just quickly delete this, and I will delete this. Okay, so let's see what will happen now. Maybe we didn't close something, or maybe let's see, we just make a picture a little bit smaller. So I'll maybe say width, and let's say 50%. And here we go. maybe even a little bit bigger, maybe 80, and that's it. So now this is looking really nice. We have a table with the informations from the Google profile, there is a picture, and of course from now on you can do whatever you want with this information. So guys, I hope that this is very simple and extremely useful tutorial, and if you have any questions, please ask in the comments below. And also, if you enjoyed this video tutorial, please like it and share it to your friends. Take care.